Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever the case. I just gotta throw that all out there because a lot of times I'll say good morning to my community and they'll be like, hey, it's afternoon, what are you talking about? I live in the Pacific Standard Time zone, so just so you know, it's a little different here, perhaps. Maybe it's the same for you, I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and take a look here at Solana, see what's going on. Just to kind of touch on this really quick before we get started, we do have a heavy liquidation level, concentration down below, about 138 to 141. We talked about that last night, and while it hasn't been swept yet, just know there is motivation for the price to go to that level if Bitcoin pulls back. Bitcoin is showing some smaller time frame bullish qualities, and if that is the case and Bitcoin continues higher, then we might actually see Solana break through this Ichimoku cloud, the descending trend line, and we may get that confirmation in the 150s. But again, me personally, I think it's too premature to take a long position. There's just not a lot here from a bird's eye view that is worth considering taking a long position with, okay? So again, that's just kind of my thoughts, my considerations. To those of you who like to thumbs down the video, probably only get one or two every once in a while. Don't take offense to me just saying that your coin's going to go down. You're emotionally invested in this coin. That is a problem, and you shouldn't be trading in the first place. So just throwing it out there, it's probably not the best call to get all butthurt about somebody saying your coin's going to go down in value. Anyways, looking here at 140 to 141, there's that concentration liquidation. We got to zoom out to kind of see the overall aggregate here. What we can see, each bar here is roughly $1 billion, okay? So that amount is increasing, implying that there's more and more long. So that does give us support in the sense that that 141 range is a good consideration for a long position, but also just one of those things that's, what do you do here, right? Do you wait for that level to get swept? Do you just take it long blindly? What is the case? Well, if we look at Bitcoin and Solana, we kind of compare the two. I like to do this sometimes, just looking abstractly at the charts and kind of see. If you look at this here and then you look at Solana, Solana is not behaving too well here in the last 24 to 48 hours. When Bitcoin breaks out, exceeds its more local high, Solana's just kind of parallel highs, right? So again, just something to kind of be mindful of. It's not an exact science by any stretch, but I like to kind of understand how coins communicate with Bitcoin, if you will. At this point right now, Solana is still, I wouldn't say inversely paired, but it does seem to be selling off harder than Bitcoin and not increasing while Bitcoin goes up. Again, different stories for different situations. We see here though, Bitcoin dominance is increasing. I wouldn't expect amazing things here from altcoins today. Okay, just kind of one of those dead days here where everything's kind of averaging itself out. Bitcoin's kind of defining its range, and if it wants to break free from its little range here, I think Solana might do so as well. But it has a lot of resistance above it. So let's look at the daily. Work our way down. Quickly to note here, if we look at the macro, we can recognize that we are in a situation right now where it's still not great, right? There's no other way around it. Okay, so again, if you kind of zoom in here, sorry, the text is, I can go ahead and get rid of that for the moment. I think we all understand what those areas are. We look at the moving averages. We're below all four, right? We got the 200 SMA kind of rejecting the price out here today, that 148 level. As per usual, 148, potential support, potential resistance, depending which side you're on. So we can presume right now 148 is probably the new high. Once again, hard to say specifically, but if we zoom out a little bit here, we look at kind of the macro daily time frame here, we can recognize the RSI is in a situation where we're not in a good place to take a long, okay? A lot of resistance above us. Now, again, keep in mind, you can still take longs and be successful even when the macro is not looking great. It's just one of those things that the overall sentiment is down, and until it proves otherwise, we can presume it will continue. That being said, there's still plenty of profit to be taken in smaller time frames, smaller movements, and that's what we're going to look at next year. So if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can recognize the same thing here. We're still below the 20-day and the 20 and the 50. The 20 and the 50 are pretty big deals for me. I like to be above at least the 20 as the initial trend setter on the 4-hour time frame if I'm going to take a long position with confidence. We're not there yet, okay? Same thing here with the 50-day SMA kind of working its way up. I really just think that until the price action gets in the 150s, we have no reason to take a trade. That's just me personally at this exact moment. Is that going to change in 2 or 3 hours from now? Probably. Yeah, I mean, it slowly progresses, and as the price action moves, same thing will happen with the validations or invalidation levels. If we take a look here, we can see 50 on the RSI still underneath that level. While we're getting closer, we keep retesting that level. We haven't broken through yet. So again, all the more reason just to be a little more patient and consider maybe waiting a little bit longer. It's okay to, if you don't want to, you want to get impatient and jump in right now. I get it. Bitcoin does look like it wants to make a little bit of a move here to its local point of control at 60,700. If that happens, Solana will probably retest this 150 to 151 range. Just know there is a local point of control here as well for Solana. We can see that right there at about 154. Okay. That's right where the X marks the spot, coincidentally, because we want the price to be above that level in order to take a trade with confirmation, okay? Again, it's not exact, but that's roughly what we're looking for. So just something to kind of be mindful of. And a future reference, if you were curious, on my playout charts, I got the question like, hey, what the heck does this little X mean? Well, that's generally what I'm looking for confirmation. That's where I want to try to take a trade. Generally to the upside. I'll have X's to the downside too, but for the most part, I'm going to look for a long and at that level once we have a bullish backtest of that, horizontal support level, right? In this case here, same scenario. Ideally, in a perfect world, price comes up here, boom, bounces off that level, Bob's your uncle. In fact, why don't we go ahead and draw out some new fibs here just to kind of get perspective on this more recent time frame here. And again, if we look at this and we kind of zoom in, once more, I'll have this playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. This does match up pretty well with the way things will probably work out. If the price ends up pumping, we'll go ahead and probably see rejection off 155. That's that local resistance, not only just the point of control, but also 0.618 fib level. It's a really common area for the price action to reject initially, and it would also make sense for it to come down, bounce off 0.5, and continue higher. So again, this is roughly the scenario in which I'm going to be looking for. Okay, so again, for the most part, these are just things that are always consistently changing. If the price doesn't continue higher, it'll mainly be because of Bitcoin. Well, there we go. Bitcoin's kind of running a little bit. If Bitcoin comes up to its point of control, or just say that 0.65 fib level, and rejects off of that golden pocket, we'll probably see a similar scenario here. But you got to keep in mind, look at how Bitcoin's doing right now, and look how Solana's doing. Not quite the same, right? It's got a different feel to it. So to me, that leads me to believe that we're probably more likely to see downside for Solana, mainly because of how poorly it's behaving with Bitcoin, concurrent with Bitcoin. But also, if Bitcoin does pull back, we're going to see a significant pullback from Solana. So just be mindful. This is not a I told you so, but it kind of is too, right? Anyways, heads up, future reference, that's what's going on. Last but not least, I want to say thank you to my community for some awesome feedback. I'm glad our trade yesterday worked out very well with Ethereum, good 25% long to catch that extra liquidity sweep up to the upside. If you didn't see my Ethereum video from yesterday, you'll know, or you wouldn't know, but there's a solid amount of liquidation up there that got swept. All the more reason why I think we may see a lower low here for Solana, pending Bitcoin's behavior here today. All right, thanks again, folks. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.